give you an example of what happens when you try to manage culture change, when you try to announce a change. When I first started studying this, AT&T was just being broken up. The Justice Department said this is unfair and uncompetitive and un-American, and so we're going to break you up into a lot of baby bells. And as they were doing that, the baby bells, the smaller parts of AT&T, started to say, wait a minute, we can't just be this old line utility that has the government sending us tax money. We've got to earn our stripes. We've got to be competitive. We've got to be marketing oriented. We can't just be service oriented. And so you had people who had grown up in this firm. They developed their careers and gone through learning how to repair things, how to be of service to customers. They had stories about people who would stay up for 72 hours to repair a down phone line out in some rural setting to be able to return the service to these people that people depended on AT&T to provide this service. Dependability, service, sacrifice. Boy, could they tell you what this company was about and who we are. And now, with the stroke of a pen and an announcement, we're marketing oriented. So they bring in a bunch of people at the vice president level to teach us who were marketing people from other places who didn't understand AT&T. And they're now announcing to people, sorry, but those old operational details that you got down pat and you really figured out that system and that service orientation, you've got to be competitive. Well, the employees started to say, all of a sudden, I don't know how to do that. And I don't think I have a future here. And why should I try? I better start looking for another job. Other people started to say, wait a minute, this is really important stuff that we do. And who are you? You're an outsider. Well, for a lot of reasons, they started competing with each other. Other people said, I'm going. They look around 3 years later and they start firing these marketing people they brought in from the outside. Does that look like culture change? It looked like a mess. What I saw happening, and that's what I was trying to describe, was here's what you lose when you announce culture change. When you try to say, let's install one on Monday. What you lose is one of the key pillars of this corporate character or organizational culture that has a competitive advantage. It's called what I call motivational faith. Why should I try? The reason people are motivated is because they can see, on the one hand, there's a pretty nice reward. I can see that if I make an attempt, if I make a sacrifice, a pretty good probability that I'll get treated fairly, I'll be rewarded for it. The prior question is, can I do it? Do I have the ability to do it? Now make that an organizational problem with a whole lot of individuals wondering, do I have motivational faith? Well, you've just told us, no, we're no good at it anymore. We don't know how to do marketing oriented. We're going to do a new thing here. We're not going to do the old thing that you did. Pretty clear, I don't know how to do it, number one. Number two, what will happen if I try? Since I don't know how to do it, I'm not likely to get rewarded. All of a sudden, what was a very competent, skilled organization with a lot of people having motivational faith and trying, all of a sudden that dries up. They're the same people from one day to the next, but you've now announced, doesn't count. Don't try. You haven't intended to. You've just wanted to say, boy, we've really got to change. Well, if I try, will it even work? And so a lot of the risk of culture change is it looks so big, people give up. People don't try, or they get cynical, or they get competitive, saying, no, I'm going to hang on to my old stuff. Whatever it is, the change doesn't happen. Another thing that happens is that they violate a second pillar. Let's think of a three-legged stool right now. This is the second leg of that stool, and you need all three. The second leg is a shared vision. I don't mean something you put on a wall. I mean the result of these stories. This is a vision about who we are, how we relate to the community that we live in. This is a story, a set of stories that say, this is really worth doing. This is something that's valuable. Look at what I'm a part of. There's a sense of pride. There's a sense of what's good. Even if we're really good at something. But it also is something that we deliver, that we feel proud about. Look at what happens when you announce culture change. You know all that stuff you felt proud about? Sorry, you're not supposed to go out and repair those down phone lines because that's not competitive anymore. We can't make money at that. All of a sudden, what I was proud of, I become cynical about. And that often happens. We often announce change or put up a new set of values, put them in our mission statement. We can't live them. Here's a Canadian company, by the way, that another company that had just gone through layoffs, to be able to help encourage people to get back their motivational faith and say, we're going to help you grow and we're going to develop you, we'll provide training. They put this all in their vision statement, and we're going to avoid layoffs at all cost. Within 6 months, they hit another wall in the economy, and they almost immediately moved to layoffs. Okay, you're done with motivational faith, and your vision is now a cause for great cynicism. Sorry, that's not who we are. As a matter of fact, we don't trust you anymore. So the announcement-itist that is so much a part of American culture, we want to be can-do people. We want to get things done. We want to move into the future. Forgets to honor the past. And when you forget to honor the past, you forget who you are. You forget what you've built, who you've become, what you are able to do and commit to do. How do you build a new one of those? Well, you grow it. That's part of a story we'll tell in a minute. But right now, I just want you to see shared vision and motivational faith are critical. The third leg of that stool is distinctive skills. The reason I get good at something is that I've practiced it a lot. There's some really interesting new research that suggests how people get to world-class, Olympic-level skill. They call it deliberate practice. And they say the difference between the chess master, the Beatles, and the next lower rung that didn't quite make the grade is 10,000 hours of deliberate practice and 10 years, usually, of that effort. Deliberate practice is moving just beyond your current capability, trying it and getting immediate feedback about a component of the skill and continuing to practice that and get better at it over time. Did you hear that? 10,000 hours, 10 years. This is not something you announce. This is something that you might adapt. You might grow in new ways, but this is a different kind of thing. The thing that makes us have a competitive advantage is to have some motivational faith that says, it's okay to try. We'll give you some chances because you're going to have to practice this for a while. And we can be, and we're good at some things right now that we're going to be applying to do that. And after all, we're after this purpose. Isn't it an ennobling purpose? It's worth doing this and keeping after it. And what we'll do is have distinctive skills that we can do better than anybody else because we've worked at it together, because we've developed it over time. So if I were to say what is a competitive culture or a corporate character of the way I'm defining it, it has these components. Easy to destroy, very difficult to create, worth doing. But organizational leaders are institutional stewards of something quite precious if they develop this kind of character and something they can lose quite easily.